lovely friends, it's Margaret, and I am here to recommend some books. Okay, so we are sitting down to do a real quick recommendations video for the book rec Bonanza. As always, I try to participate myself just because it's fun to find people and recommend books. If you don't know what the book rec Bonanza is, I will have the Twitter linked down in the description that has all of the information, and I'll have my last announcement video because I only made one of these. Anyways, so like I said, I like to participate, and so I got assigned R from the channel R Jensen, there we go, thank you. And I will have all of their information linked in the description as well. So I'm going to go through the information that are filled out, what they're looking for recommendations, and then number one, if you have any recommendations that fit these themes, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below so R can have those recommendations as well as the ones I'm about to give them. And number two, if you're sitting there going, why would I even be interested in this video? Well, I'm going to go over what R is looking for, and you might have some similar tastes to R and might find a good book recommendation from this video. Also, if you hear any weird noises, my window is open. It's Florida. The world hates us. So R is looking for adult, young adult, and middle grade books that are either fantasy, sci-fi, contemporary, historical fiction, or graphic novels. Those are the genres and the age categories that they enjoy. And then one of the questions that they have to answer are what are 3 to 5 storylines, tropes, characters, subject types that you enjoy. And so they said queer characters, found family, retellings, especially Greek mythology retellings, friendship, especially male-female friendship, when because it is very rare, and then angsty emo boys, like Ronan Lynch and Andrew Minyard. I don't know who Andrew Minyard is, but Ronan Lynch is not my favorite person. He's okay. He's okay. Like, by the end of the series, I would die for him, but at the same time, boy, get your life together. 3 of their favorite books are The Song of Achilles, The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried, and Tarnished Are the Stars. They also linked 3 videos that show off their reading taste, and I will put those down below in case you're interested in checking out their channel. And they do say I didn't click romance because I don't find the typical straight romance book interesting, but if you've got a queer romance book, I'm down to clown with romance. Based off of those, I have, where did it go? I had a post. Okay, so based off of those, I have a list of books that I think you would like. I was just watching your videos and finding stuff. The first one that I want to recommend to you is Truth Witch. You were ranting about fantasy worlds and world building. This book has fantastic world building. It's got a solid magic system. It has a wonderfully diverse cast who are all disasters. Like, they are a mess, and I love them so much. But seriously, like, I really think you will like that series just based on the fact that you kind of like that Six of Crows vibe, and I have a few other found family type stories that are similar to that. But Truth Witch, I really just, like, read it. It's so good. I love it. It takes a minute to get into that first book if you're interested in reading that, but after you get into the first book, I mean, it didn't take me long because I figured out what the main romance was, and it was amazing. That's just me. Truth Witch is about a truth witch named Safi. Her power is pretty rare. She is the only one currently alive, and so a lot of people are after her, and so her family is trying to get her away from the people who are after her, but they're not giving her a lot of information, so Safi just completely screws everything up, and it's wonderful. I love her so much. The second book I want to recommend you is this one right here, because, hold on. A Wounded Name by Hutchison. You said that you really like Hamlet and that you've worked on a production of Hamlet. This is a retelling of Hamlet from Ophelia's point of view. It is slightly magical. It's got a fabulous element, and I will say trigger warnings because there is some assault that happens in this book because no one is in their right mind, but you've read Hamlet, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, I absolutely adore this book. It is one of the few versions of Hamlet that I actually enjoy. And part of that is because of the magical element and Ophelia's character development, well, lack of thereof, but her character, I really enjoy her character. I really enjoy just being in her head. Not really, I enjoy being in her head is not necessarily, but it is fascinating to be in her head and to watch someone who knows what the right things to do are and who is so struggling so much with actually being able to do those things. I love her. She is fantastic. And this is some of the most beautiful writing you will ever read in your life. Going back to fantasy that is fun and has great world building, it's the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, but Dealing with Dragons by Patricia Sue Reed. This just strikes me as a book that you would really like. I feel like you would enjoy it. It's middle grade. It's got that fun kind of really quirky style. There is no romance, by the way, not in this one at least, and it has gender crashing dragons. Like one of my favorite parts of this book, from the time I was a small child is that the king of the dragons can be any gender. And I love that fact that, like, it didn't matter. Like, you got the title if you got the role. If you were good enough to do, well, they have to go through some sort of test. I don't remember what it is exactly. Oh, they have to care. It's a whole thing, and I don't want to spoil anything, but this is about Cimarine. She is a princess who doesn't want to marry the guy that her parents have decided she is married, so she runs away to become a dragon's princess so the dragon can protect her from all of these ridiculous knights who keep trying to come and rescue her. While we are on the subject of middle grade fantasy that is just absolutely redonkulous, I noticed that you have not read Howl's Moving Castle, and that is a tragedy. Anyways, so this is about Sophie Hatter. There is a little bit of romance in this, and it is one of those really stupid, ridiculous romances where they hate each other until they don't. And I still love it. It is very different from the movie, so different from the movie, but this is one of those few cases where I think the movie and the book both are absolutely wonderful creations. Like, as someone who saw the movie first, I wasn't terribly disappointed at how different this is. It's very much about women and female empowerment, which is why I love it, but it also is such a wonderful, whimsical, magical world. Like, Diana Wynne-Jones doesn't do a lot of world building, but you get a really good, clear picture of the world. So looking at some of the things that you enjoy, I think you might enjoy it. Another one I want to recommend to you is Heist Society by Howl's Moving Castle. Another one I want to recommend is Heist Society by Ally Carter. I love Ally Carter's books, every single one of them. They are fantastic. However, because you're specifically looking for found family and you're looking for, what is the other word? The friendships between guys and girls. This book, you will enjoy it because this is about Kat Bishop, and she is a thief, and she has this fantastic ragtag group of friends that are her family, and it's one of those where you go in and they've known each other for a very long time, and you know that, and so it's really funny because they'll mention crazy things that have happened, and they're just like, oh yeah, that one time the Bagshaws did this, and you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like something the Bagshaws would do. Well, the reason I like it is because it has a huge Batman Catwoman vibe. Like, if they were teenagers and their moral compasses had been switched, that's this book. But I really think you will enjoy the heist aspect. I think you will enjoy the banter that is between all of these people, and the fact that they have just this wonderful, rich friendship between so many different characters. It is all from Kat's point of view, but, like, you get to see such great friendship dynamics between them, and I love, Ally Carter does squads so well. I want to put in some sci-fi to kind of break up the fantasy that I've got to recommend, and I'm going to say Jana Unlimited by Kristen Kershaw. This is about Jane, and she makes umbrellas, is one of the things I remember, and she goes to this really ritzy house because her friend her tutor? I don't know, someone that she knew from before invited her to go out there because her aunt has recently died, and her aunt made her promise that if she was ever invited to go out to this house, she would go out to this house. And there are some really weird things that Jane starts getting dragged into, and it's an interesting plot. It doesn't have necessarily a linear plot line. It's a little bit of a choose-your-own-adventure type thing, sort of, except without the choosing. The other one that I want to recommend to you is Heart of Iron. This is a Anastasia retelling, and if you like angsty boys who are super emo, one of the characters who is in this, yeah, I think he'll fit that kind of, what's the word, that stereotype? He's there. He's got a dark past. He's very closed off. So it's an Anastasia retelling. It follows Anastasia, and then I don't remember anyone's names. But it was a fun, interesting book. I think you will like at least one of the romances in here. Two final books that I want to recommend that I wrote down when I was listening to your videos at work. The first one is The Good Wolves. Again, found family. It's got fantastic relationships. I think there are a couple in here that you would really like. It also has that heist dynamic. I know a lot of people have said things about the world building and the magic system, and I don't understand because those answers were in the text. I don't understand. This is another one where, like, it's a friendship group that you are going into in the middle of stuff going down, so they already know each other. It's not like we're it's very much like that Six of Crows setup where they already know each other. And I know that comparison has been used before, but people were okay with it in Six of Crows, and then, like, that's the only comparison that they really share is this group of people, and then the fact that the main character is a whiny child who is set on revenge. I mean, I don't actually blame him because the stuff that's happened, but there's more to the story that you'll find out in September. Editing Margaret here because I completely forgot a book that I think you might enjoy. It's a historical fiction called The Bird King by G. Willow Wilson. I forgot about it because it was one that did not particularly, I personally didn't enjoy it, but that's because the main relationship is in fact a platonic relationship between a guy and a girl. So there really wasn't a good romance for me to attach to, but listening to what you had to say about like really liking platonic relationships and all of that, I really think you would enjoy The Bird King. So also put that on your list. I will link my review for it down in the description box if you're interested in knowing what that one is about. It's set in Granada, Spain, back during the time that Spain was taking over everything back in the 1400s, I think it is. And it's about this girl and this guy that are they're in Granada, and they decide that they're going to escape, and they kind of, it's like a magical realism type thing. They're trying to escape from people who are hunting them down because there's a little bit of magic. One of them is magical. I can't remember who it was. But it's just a barely there magic system, but it's so well done. Like, the magic system was really well done and really interesting, and I loved it. I just wasn't, you know me, I need that romance to get attached. And then the final one that I want to recommend to you, it is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foodie. This is about In and Levi, and they are absolute cinema rolls. I love them. Levi is in over his head and in so much trouble, and he is the definition of a bi disaster, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know that from personal experience, but from what I've heard. So this has, again, that found family aspect to it. I really like books with found family. I'm really, like, realizing this because a lot of these have that. Anyways, it does have that found family aspect. It has this kind of pseudo-historical, almost steampunk aspect to it, which I really, really enjoy because I like steampunk, and I love it. I do. And it also has, like, they're all friends, and I love that. Ooh, I got sweat on my book. They're all friends, and I love that. And so, yes, I think you will enjoy this one as well. So those are my recommendations to you. Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you find something interesting to read out of that massive stack of books that I just babbled about. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're new here. That is it for now, my friends. I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!